Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member Mary Baker and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore realtors. Oh, I said realtors because I'm looking at two realtors. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I've already messed up. So, hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. I am Melissa Wallace, your host for tonight, but guess what? I have two realtors right in front of me, and you guys are laughing at me.
I'm laughing 'cause you're like...
I know. I'm like holding on to this for dear life. I am joined not by Sharon or Mary tonight, but I am joined by, you might have recognized that voice over there, Kristen Howlett. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi. Well, don't do a different voice. Now we're not going to be able to know who you are.
It's me. It's me in the flesh.
It's you. And we have Emmie Flaherty. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So Emmie has joined us once before on our show. I mean, you are a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, along with Kristen. But everybody knows you, Kristen. So I'm going to give Emmie a minute to introduce yourself to all of our listeners. Tell everybody who you are, what you do here at Boston Connect, the areas that you service, and give you a little time to shine.
Well, thank you. That's kind of a tall order. But I am Emmie Flaherty. I am a resident of Pembroke, and I am very proud to call Boston Connect my home away from home. I service all of the South Shore. I work most often with first-time home buyers. I really also love to work with veterans. My parents were both in the military and serving our country, and being a veteran is very important to me, so I enjoy working with veterans as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. Yeah, but you're like so well known in not even just Pembroke, but like I feel like on the South Shore. That like not to toot your horn, but I mean everybody sort of already knew you before you even came here, like knew you as Emmie Flaherty the realtor, and or Emmie Flaherty this and this. You know, you wear many hats, and you wear them all very well. I don't think I could do half the things that you do because I'm just like what is she doing today? It's like all these things, but you know, you have a fantastic listing, and I'll give you a minute in a little bit to talk about your listing. But like I said, you wear many hats, but you wear them very well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Kristen, for all of our brand new listeners tonight who might not know who you are, or just reintroduce yourself to everybody listening tonight.
Kristen Howlett. I'm also a full-time real estate agent, a realtor at Boston Connect Real Estate. Same as Emmie, I service anywhere. We've talked about this. Right? Yeah. I've been 2 hours away. I've been 5 minutes away. Right. Whatever you need.
Whatever you need, she'll be there.
That's right.
Right along with Emmie.
And looking forward to the new year because I have a lot of clients that have been on the fence and now they're jumping off. So looking to be a busy 2023.
Jumping off into a new home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Home for the new year.
Yeah.
Yeah. New home.
I can't really talk about it, but I've
fabulous antique that's coming on.
Ooh. What town?
Bridgewater.
Ooh.
But you're just giving the town. You know how many houses are in Bridgewater?
I know, this one's a good one.
Well, I can't wait to see it. However, you can already see Emmie's listing. So, Emmie, why don't you take some time to sort of promote your listing? And is it East Bridgewater or Bridgewater?
Yep.
East Bridgewater. All right. Tell everybody all about it.
Thank you. Well, I have a very cute and charming 2-bedroom in East Bridgewater. It is located at 1185 Central Street. I have had some really positive feedback, and we just recently staged it, which is the topic of today's show. I'm stealing the thunder from
You're
Melissa.
stealing the thunder. Well, it was your idea. I was going to give you the carpet anyways, the floor.
Yes. So we just recently staged it. I put updated pictures out there today. It has a very large lot, 0.73 acres, which I know a lot of people really love a yard, especially when you have dogs. I'm a very dog-friendly person myself, so it's definitely worth checking out. There's an open house tomorrow night from 5 to 7, and yours truly will be there, so come on by.
She will. She will. I'm actually going to stop by tomorrow and give her a little peek, do some promoting for you guys. So.
And I filled in for Emmie while she was on vacation with the open house, and it's got so much potential.
Yeah, it looks
So
cute
much
from the
potential.
pictures. I can't wait to see it in person.
Super cute.
Yeah. But yes, so tonight we are talking about staging. And I know that we have talked previously about the market that we just came out of, you might not have to stage a home. Well, now we're in a different market. There are homes out there that might need some staging. And we'll go over, some of the reasons why something needs to be staged, because I'll give you a hint. Some people aren't creative and just sort of need that little extra help to see that this room can be a bedroom, this room can be a dining room, this can be, whatever. But I'm going to sort of let you guys take the lead today, and I'm going to step back a little bit, see how you guys handle, taking over the show.
I think you're 100% right, too, you just sparked something in me that the market that we just came in, we have to quickly switch gears.
Yeah.
And it's the only way that any agent is going to survive in this, because what we did 6 months ago is not happening anymore. Mm-hmm. I really do think most houses will need to be staged. Mm-hmm. And you have to get a little bit more creative to get that edge, to have people be able to listen. Buyers are so much more savvy.
Yeah. So I think it was Saturday, I was brought into a conversation with Sharon and Emmie about doing the show on staging. So I think maybe you had a conversation with Sharon beforehand, mm-hmm. and then I was brought into it. So why don't you start off with sort of why you wanted to do this topic? And we did just say that you staged your house. So mm-hmm. maybe give a little insight of why you felt as though your listing needed staging.
Okay. So I would first say I think we need to step back for a second and just explain to people what staging is. Mm-hmm. Because to me, before I got my license, to me, staging was just you bring in a whole new set of furniture, and all the bells and whistles. And, if the house is vacant, then yeah, of course that makes sense. But then you kind of get into, well, do you use your furniture as the seller, or do you bring in other furniture, and why? So I think that there's maybe some misconceptions out there about what is staging. Mm-hmm. So to me, the whole definition is basically it's more than just furniture. It's paint. It's, maybe changing, just the aesthetics of the room, not necessarily the furniture that's in the room. So
decluttering.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's all part of it.
Yeah. So there's a lot more to staging than just, okay, we're going to bring in some fancy furniture. Yeah. And I think that's like a common misconception, that you hear the word staging and you think, oh my gosh, my whole house is going to completely be revamped. So,
and we talk a lot about that here about, oh, wait a minute, I just lost my train of thought.
About staging. We're on staging.
But also the misconception of what we want to do is to, listen, your goal is to sell your house.
Right.
And you have one shot. And I like to I say selling a home now, the buyers, it's like online dating, and you have one shot.
Right.
You got to get that right front. You can't do it over. Sharon and I coined that it's backwards momentum. You have one shot to do it right. you might as well just take the time, do it right. And it all starts with decluttering, cleaning, making sure that everybody that goes through is looking at, oh, that's so great. And they're not looking at what's wrong.
Right. So, sometimes I'll bring up the topic of staging, and, you can almost see like the anxiety set in, because it's like, oh, what is that?
Right.
So it's more than, just the literal interpretation of, bringing in furniture. So, we have discussions when we meet with people who are looking to sell. This is what we see. We see this. We're out touring with buyers, and we're thinking to ourselves when we go in and see a listing, how would we represent this to the best of our ability? So it's more like, okay, your house is all neutral colors, but your 13-year-old kid has, bright blue walls with glitter all over them, So then that's the conversation. Do we do something about that room? Because it doesn't really fit in, and we're trying to make a general flow and give people, prospective buyers the idea of what they could do with a house if they were looking to buy it. So
yeah. And give them that like cozy, warm, you want them to imagine living there.
Right.
Yeah, and like you guys said, it doesn't have to be this huge dramatic change. It can just be little things. Staging can also mean taking everything off of the counters in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I have countless pictures and videos of both, Sharon, Mary, even myself, when we're meeting the photographer at the house, and this is even before we're listing, is we're hiding a microwave here. We're hiding the toaster oven here. We're hiding this. We're hiding the soap dispenser here. Like, that's also considered staging. It's not sort of, a lot of people may think that it's like depersonalizing the home, but really it's opening up the possibilities for somebody to say, oh, this space looks, a little bit bigger when, this huge TV is out of it, or this huge cabinet is out of it, or whatever it may be. There are things that can be sort of moved around to open up people's, minds to see, okay, yeah, this would work for me. And
that is another good point too. Michelle Doherty, who I use as a photographer, her and I are sweating bullets at because we're like, every room she goes into, I'm grabbing things, taking them, moving them to the other room. She gets her shots, and then we kind of put them back. And a funny is one of my listings, they were calling afterwards like, where's my fan? I'm like, Michelle, where's that fan? I sent her a picture of the room. I'm like, where did we put the fan? And she knew exactly where it was.
Yeah, I know. I think, Brian, they're brother and sister, correct? Yeah, so Sharon and Mary use Brian Doherty a lot. And every time that I've met him, I mean, he just is so used to it now. Like, we're all like nuts. We're like hiding things, in closets under beds. And even if there's a curtain in the bathroom, I'm hiding things in the bathtub, just to get things. But I always try to remember, or I take pictures of where I leave things, because then I put it right back. And sometimes the sellers don't even know. Half the time they don't want to be there during the pictures, because it can be very emotional, whatever the reason for them to be selling. But it's funny. So when they see, they're like, oh, wow. The thing that actually people are surprised about the most is when we take down the curtains. Like, if you have very heavy curtains and they've been up for ever since you moved in or whatever, and you take them down because Sharon always says, I'm not in the business of selling curtains. I'm in the business of selling windows. So people have to see the windows of the house that they are going to be purchasing. So we might take them down for the photos, and it's always, oh, wow, it's so much brighter in here. Yeah. It feels so much bigger in here.
My Halifax listing that I sold last year, same thing. Truth be told, I would love to stage. I want to stage just my own listings, but I've started like collecting things over time, and it's just sometimes just a little plant, or it's, same thing as Melissa just said, like taking down curtains, changing things out. And my listing in Halifax, she couldn't get over once we took everything out and she took the pictures. She's like, I don't want to move.
I know. I hear that a lot. I hear that from so many people.
And sometimes it's just a fresh, but, you just made me think of something too, Mel.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is why you hire us.
Yeah.
Because there are agents who will not care about those things. They won't care if the shades, one's up here and one's down here.
That drives me nuts.
That drives Sharon absolutely bananas.
I think I've become somewhat of a listing snob too, because the first thing I do is look at the pictures and I'm like, oh, I would never have allowed that picture in.
What a snob you
Or
are.
I find something on mine that I'm like, damn. One of them was my Chris John listing. There was a lacrosse ball underneath one of the boys' beds. And I'm like, how the hell did I miss that?
And you're still thinking about it all these years later. I remember going to your open house and we were still wearing masks.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. That was a beautiful home, though.
Yeah. That didn't need any staging at all.
No.
Perfect.
Sorry. Did you finish why we're doing this topic? Because of your listing?
We didn't even get there.
We didn't get there.
So I backtracked.
Yeah.
I backtracked and said that we kind of needed to talk to our listeners about what is staging, because I personally interpret everything very literally. So clarifying for those of you that are like me that do those things. But then there's also, why do we do it? So, we've covered why, because, we're trying to make it more appealing to the buyers. Not that there's anything not appealing about it as it is, but, we declutter, we depersonalize, we clean things up. And sometimes, yes, we do swap out furniture, and there are many good reasons for all of that. But so I suggested doing this topic tonight because I was in this situation with my current listing in Bridgewater. We had a vacant house. The sellers have moved on to a new property, and the house was vacant. I had it cleaned. We had some pressure washing done, cleaned it up, like most people would do in the fall, got it ready for market, listed it, and put it online. And I noticed the feedback from the people that were coming through was, I have a very hard time envisioning how I would organize my furniture here. So then a light bulb went off in my head and said, to me, I'd love to come into a nice, clean, empty house and take my furniture in my head and say, okay, well, I put my couch here and I'd put my bed here and this, that, or the other. But not everyone can do that. Mm-hmm. So that's often where staging comes into play. So I talked to the seller of this property and said, what do you think about bringing in some furniture? The main feedback is that it's hard for people to visualize what they would do. And we went ahead and did that.
And I think it's important, like you said earlier, there are different degrees of staging. Right. You can do like the whole kit and caboodle, and you can rent furniture, or you can just do little touches, which is kind of what you did.
Right.
Yeah. And the little touches can be, so did you do the whole house or did you do certain rooms?
We did certain rooms. Mm-hmm. So we did the 2 bedrooms. It's a 2-bedroom home, but there is, as we call in real estate, a bonus room. There's extra space there. And a lot of people said, well, I don't know if I'd make this the bedroom. I don't know what I would do with this. So after talking to the stager, we decided that we would stage the 2 bedrooms and the bonus room, which is staged as a dining room. It's a really cute area where you could sit and have a meal and look out into the backyard. And we did that.
I think that's a great setup for that particular layout too. It works. Yeah. Totally works.
Again, I'm intrigued to see it tomorrow to see how the staging helped.
If you ate at the little bar area, the island area, you could also do that as a little workout room. You could do like a Peloton in there and just a TV and like a little chair.
Right. I mean, there's lots of options, and that's why originally I was thinking to myself, looking at this house vacant, I could visualize that, but I completely understand, why you would want to figure that out. A lot of people say to me, well, I have a giant sectional, what am I going to do? So, I just feel like this helps people figure out, where they might want to put their furniture.
And go ahead. No, please.
And you took your pictures, so that check that box, and now you have the visual, because some people like virtual staging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a big fan, but to each his own.
Yeah, I don't love the idea of virtual staging. Again, it gives people the opportunity to see what you can do with the space, and I honestly don't even really know what the cost is. But my experience is once somebody goes into the house, because sometimes it's very good, like the virtual staging is very good that you think that you're walking into that.
Sometimes you have to zoom in. Yeah,
you have to zoom in. And also there are some times where like a virtual stager has like fixed some flaws that are in pictures. So, this is from personal experience, walking into a home that had absolutely nothing in it. And there's like, water stains and stuff that should be shown because they exist. And they're not in the photos because, part of the virtual staging was to fix it. I know one time this was like when I first started with Sharon and Mary, so maybe like 6-7 years ago, they added like a roof on.
Oh, geez.
They like changed like the whole entire roof to one of their like listings, and they like caught it. They were like, wait a minute, that's not the roof.
Well,
to
and
the
now
house.
you have to disclose whether it's virtually staged.
Yeah.
But I mean, we would see that on our end. I'm not even sure if like public, we would see that like on.
Yeah, I don't know how it shows up, like, because, again, you know, Zillow and Trulia and all those things, those are third-party websites. Yeah. So they're pulling from MLS, which is where we are putting all the information in. However, it doesn't pull everything, and it also doesn't pull everything accurately.
Right.
So it's just, you have to sort of be honest and upfront about those things, because I've been both as somebody walking into a house thinking that furniture is going to be there, or those water stains are not going to be there, and also somebody who is doing an open house and they walk in and say, wait, this looked completely different from before, and have to be like, oh yeah, it's virtually staged, you know, even if it is put into MLS. Again, it's not always pulling to those third-party websites, so it can be misleading.
So let me ask you, as someone who's around, sees all this all the time, how do you feel about
how do I feel about staging?
Mm-hmm.
So
would you rather see a house staged, or would you rather have the insight to be able to?
Yeah. So this year I would say that I've been in probably more houses than I have been in the past few years. And that's also because, you know, we have Julia. So we've talked about Julia Hannon. She is an administrative coordinator here, which we hired her so I would have the ability to sort of go out and see a lot more of our listings. So here at Boston Connect Real Estate, being able to go out there and see all that. So, and again,
help us market.
Help. Yeah. And I, you know, go to the open houses and stuff like that. And, so I've seen a lot of houses this year compared to previous years. But I would say that, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I would say that a vacant home, if it's in a good condition, it doesn't need to be staged.
Yeah, agreed.
It depends on the floor plan. If it's just a traditional floor plan that, you know, there's nothing funky about it, you know, you're not trying to hide anything, then yeah. If it has a little bit of a funky floor plan, I like a weird floor plan personally. Like, I personally like a house with a little bit of character and something different. But those homes need a little bit more loving. So I would say that staging for something like that. But, you know, if you're, you know, a traditional 4-bedroom colonial, box colonial, like, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, everybody has an idea of what those look like, but something like, you know, yours that has an interesting floor plan and has an addition. You said that there was an addition on it. You know, definitely, I think that, you know, some people might need a little bit more help to decide what to do with certain spaces. But I love houses like that. You know, if I was in the market to you know, have something of my own, I would definitely be looking for something with a little bit more character, something. I'm
gonna look while you guys talk. I was thinking that maybe Julia is so awesome with taking our notes and helping us with keep us on track.
Yeah,
there is a statistic as to how staged houses definitely sell more.
Oh.
Yeah, she left it for us
because
she's that
higher
fabulous.
offers. Yeah. Well, first, I want to remind everybody that, you know, if you want to join in on the discussion, you can call us in at the studio, 781-837-4900. We are live on Facebook, so hi. Oh, everybody wave. Everybody wave. I hope somebody's waving back. But we're live on Facebook, so if you are a little shy and don't want to call into the studio, you can leave us a comment. We will answer. But yeah, so tonight we're talking about staging and yeah. So there is a statistic. You're busy, so we'll just talk without you.
I'm trying to find it.
I thought it was in here. So
I don't know.
I said number 1, higher offers. So okay. So according to this, you potentially get higher offers when a house is staged. Again, I think it's because people can see themselves in it, right?
Agreed.
So, other homes I feel like, look better when they don't have anything in it, but there are certain homes that will look better with staging in it.
And we all watch, like, Chip and Joanna. What is it again? What's her? They're not Rehab Addict.
I don't watch that. I don't know. Liz, are you listening? What are they?
Yeah,
What's
Chip
their
and
show?
Joanna are their show. Anyway, they do well, when they did their show, they did staging, and then the people that came in were able to purchase all the furniture. That is another part of. I mean, when I'm helping someone stage, it's typically something from my living room.
Fixer Upper?
I need it back. Fixer Upper.
There you go. Thanks, Ma.
I need the stuff back. I do have stuff
I need
in
the
a
stuff
bin.
back. You know what's so
Typically
funny?
you can't buy it.
You know what's so funny? You can always tell Ginny Wandell's listening because she has a sign that she brings to every single one of her listings. And I don't even know if she brings it to every single one of her open houses or she leaves it in all of her listings. But there's like a "You Are My Sunshine" sign that has like that has a sunflower, and it's like literally every single open house I've gone to hers, it's there. So I'm like, this is your thing, like this is part of your staging, because not every single listing you ever had has had the same sign.
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. But there are options to be able to do that. I mean, I'm not sure. Partner up with stagers. I'm sure they partner up with furniture stores, and they either rent it and you could possibly buy it, but it also could give somebody who doesn't have that vision the idea of, oh, I could do a sectional there. Oh, I don't have to do a sectional. I could do 2 separate couches or, armchairs. So it does. I mean, I feel like it's an extra service too that we can offer.
Right. Yeah.
And have the conversation from the beginning without, we're not picking on your style. It's just, if you want to sell your house for the highest amount
in the shortest
amount of time, this is what works.
Right. And I mean, we're seeing that every day. We work with buyers and sellers. So I'm out shopping with buyers, seeing listings that are staged, are not staged, and are what I would call semi-staged. You can tell it's the owner's furniture. That's totally fine because it meshes with what we're seeing everywhere else. It kind of fits the vibe, but you're also, you can tell the little touches. Like a lot of the clutter is gone. Personal photos have been put away so that new buyers can envision themselves in this home and whatnot. So we're seeing these things. And then when we're consulting with people who are looking to sell, you can visualize what you've seen thus far and kind of put yourself in their shoes in this house and decide where you want to take it.
The first thing I'm thinking is Sue Bollinger's listing. That was...
Which one?
Country Club, Pembroke. Am I right with the street?
Oh, Canoe Club.
Canoe Club.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
That
wasn't staged. I mean, that was the
that
seller.
was their furniture.
But she should have been a stager.
Yeah,
she was
gorgeous.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think some of the furniture was included in the sale.
Yeah.
I think because it just fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Again, it was like she staged it, but that's how they lived.
Yeah.
I think they were building another house, so they were going to get new furniture anyways. But it just was perfect for the space. And again, we're not saying you have to sort of redo your entire house or get rid of your furniture to add different furniture. Sometimes it's just scaling back a little bit. Like, say you do have a huge sectional. Okay, we'll keep the huge sectional because you have to still live in your house. Like, if you're living in the house while selling, but maybe get rid of, the end tables or the, whatever.
The TV trays.
The TV trays,
Right.
or a chair that's in it, sort of live a little bit more minimally, and then it makes the space feel bigger because sometimes you can't get rid of stuff like that.
And sometimes you don't think about, so Heidi Can is also a good stager. She's in the Bridgewater area. She does a lot. She just staged, actually I have a closing tomorrow, and she staged this Mansfield's house. She does a great job. But I remember she came to the Bridgewater office one time to kind of talk to me about, the different stages and the different packages that you can do. And one of them was pots and pans. And although we may think that it's cute and trendy, she says, the first thing I think of is, there's not enough room.
Not enough
for the pans.
Yeah.
Which I would have never thought. Now I do, but until she said that to me.
Yeah. And personally, I don't like that look. I don't like the whole, I'd be afraid that I'd hit my head on, a flying saucer, literally.
Yeah. It gives me anxiety. It's just like too much stuff everywhere.
Yeah. And I just feels, I don't know.
Well, my house in Randolph, we had a galley kitchen, so we needed one of those
yeah.
because I really didn't have. But it's true, I didn't have enough
Yeah.
room for the pots and pans.
Yeah, you did that because you didn't have the room.
Yeah.
But if you do have the room, you don't have to hang your pots and pans from the chandelier. So, and as a realtor, and I'm assuming other people can too, but as a realtor, you can become a certified staging specialist. I know Sharon is. There are a couple of agents here at the office. Again, we're at Boston Connect Real Estate, that are certified staging professionals. So, when you do hire somebody like that, they come with many hats. I said that you have many hats, and I'm pointing. So if you're watching us on Facebook, I'm pointing to Emmie, that, you have many hats and sort of, and so do you. I mean, we just have such amazing, strong women. One time somebody said that we should have more men on our show, but we would if they wanted to come on.
Right.
Yeah. But, you guys both wear so many hats. So maybe, look into getting certified too. But it's sort of when you're in the business for so long or a certain amount of time, like you sort of just know what sells and, what doesn't. And yes, we are in a different market than we were 6 months ago. However, if you've been in the business long enough, you've gone through many markets, or you're at somewhere where somebody can, help guide you through this market. So,
and maybe the whole, idea too is that if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, have somebody come out like Emmie or myself or even Melissa, and just give you some ideas and tips. And it doesn't have to be something that's overnight. It can be something that, maybe you're 6 months out, but you want to take, a little bit of time to declutter, and we can give you great ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would also say too, I say to people, have us out a few months before you're thinking about selling, because, there's more to it than meets the eye, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's our job to consult with you and tell you what you can get for your home in this market, what we think you can get for your home in this market. But it's also a good time for us to say and have this conversation, what are things that we think, given what we've seen, knowing what the market currently is, because it changes often, what do we think that you should do to get your house in the best condition or shape or appearance possible for potential future buyers? So, I think that's a good conversation to have a few months out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always important to sort of, again, I've always said, the right time to sell your house is the time that makes sense for you, but it's never too early to have somebody, give their professional advice on certain things, because even if it was, time to declutter or, and we don't mean to be insensitive, because obviously these are your things. You take pride in ownership, and, we never want to say, oh, take all of this down. Like, we would never say that, because you still have to live in your space and be respectful and everything. But, there are certain things that buyers are going to come in and they're looking for,
Right. Well, I mean, if you think of the concept of the model home, when you're going to a development or new construction, the model home is done that way, so you can visualize what it's going to look like. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we're doing for you, even though it's not necessarily a model home. We're making it look like, as appealing as possible to future buyers, which is the end goal, is to sell it for a higher price and faster, because we're helping people see what, opportunity lies ahead at that particular property.
Yeah. And the thing with model homes and new construction is a lot of the times at the beginning of the development, nobody's living there. So you have to stage these homes as if people are living in them, so people can envision themselves in the development. Right. It's tough to say. We hear it all the time with new construction. It's like, we can't envision it. Well, that's why we build a couple different model homes with different floor plans, and we stage them all so you can see how you can live and function in these homes. And that's so important with a new development before anybody even lives there. You gotta show that people can, because before it was woods or there was a field of nothing or whatever. Now there's these homes, and we're like, no, but we promise people can live in these things. Right. So that staging is so important when it comes to new construction. And
it can just be something I can see Julia also put on about, you can take staging more than just inside. And I was thinking, I had a listing in Rainham, and they had a cute little fire pit. And I ended up grabbing, I was going to pull mine, but they were kind of, not great. I went to Lowe's and grabbed 4 plastic Adirondack chairs and put them out there. And at the open house, everybody sat in the.
I remember you saying this.
And honestly, the people that ended up buying it had a special needs son, and that was his thing. He loved the trees back there, and he sat in that chair. And so when it came time for closing, I'm like, that's my present to you. Like, I ended up leaving it because he loved it. He loved being out there. He loved, and that's like something so simple, and it worked.
Yeah. And I know we talked a little bit about, like, being able to purchase these things, especially if, you're staging with the seller's own personal furniture. The thing with outside furniture and fire pits and stuff, we just have to be careful that, like, if we have a fire pit that can be removed, it should be removed at closing. But if people think that, like, it's a fixture, they might expect it to be there. So just being very aware of things that might not be there on closing day. But I love fire pits. Like, and if I was looking at a house, I would want the fire pit to be like, remain there,
Yeah, and have the chairs around it so you can imagine.
Right. And that brings, that made me think of another point talking about outside where, that to me is a part of staging too. There's a lot of us, I'm totally guilty of this myself. We either make a pile in the backyard and we're going to do something with that pile at a later point in time, and that pile's still there 6 months ago. Or, you moved out a piece of furniture and you haven't quite figured out what you're going to do with that piece of furniture. So it's tucked away behind the house in the backyard so people driving by don't see it. Yeah. So on this particular listing in Bridgewater, I called someone to come and take some of that stuff away. So he's a local guy and very helpful. His name is Anthony. He owns Anthony's Junk Removal, but he came out and took care of that. Just hauled it right away.
Perfect.
Yeah,
because you're right. Well, curb appeal is number one in my book because they're gonna drive by, and that's. I mean, if you're going to do anything, that's what you need to do.
Right.
Stage that outside.
Exactly. And she was like, well, the seller was like, well, I hadn't, even thought of that. But, having people like that, we have a lot of resources. So it's more, it's more than just talking furniture. Do we need someone to, come in and fix some blinds, or do you need to put blinds up because you didn't have any in that room, things like that. So I find it really helpful. My sellers do, especially when you go in and say, I have this list of people. I'm going to call Anthony to do this, and I'm going to have, so-and-so do this, and we'll get this taken care of, etc. But then I think that leads us to the bigger question, which if I were driving home right now listening to this in the car, I'd say, well, sounds all well and great, but what's it going to cost me?
Yeah.
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 So.
I don't have any numbers off the top of my head. So.
Well, that's all right.
I do.
Yes,
I do.
Thanks to
You
Julia.
do?
Yeah,
We do.
Yes, we do.
You have numbers.
Okay. According to Home Advisor, many homeowners pay between $631 and $2,304 to have their homes professionally staged. However, full furniture rentals for extended periods can cost $6,000 or more. The national average home staging cost is $1,426. Which, in the scheme of things, is really, it's a lot of money. But in the scheme of things, if that return on your investment could be, $30,000, $20,000, which realistically it really could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big difference.
It is. And I feel like living here in Massachusetts, every time I see the national home average, I'm like, yeah, okay, well.
Bump that up a little bit.
I want to triple that because we live here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But not to talk those that are listening out of staging, because it really, does help for all of the reasons that we've discussed. There's a lot of ways that you can stage that, staging on a budget, which is a whole separate topic. So,
yeah.
But it is possible.
Yeah. And a lot of it includes what you already have. I mean, if you've been living in the space, you've accumulated things. So, it's staging what you already have. And that's being able to have a sort of a professional, even if it's not a professional stager, if it's one of you guys, go in and say, what do you think about moving this over here? Or what do you think about maybe, tucking this away while we're doing photos? You don't have to necessarily live without it. Maybe just do it for the photos.
Most people have a room in their house that's like a catch-all room that was started out as maybe a bedroom, and then it was an office, and then it just came out. But that could be something as simple as a $30 blowout air mattress with a nice, just make it look like a bedroom again, which could be super simple.
Right. And my staging right now is 2 air mattresses.
Yeah.
It's a good way to do it. No one's going in there to take a nap. So, I mean, it's perfect. It's an easier way to do it. We needed to do this budget friendly, as everyone does. So there's a lot of tips and tricks. But again, that goes back to why you would hire a professional.
Yeah. You should always hire a professional to do anything.
I was just thinking that when I sold my first house, that I didn't realize it at the time, but there was a baby monitor, and there was a woman with a baby, and she changed her baby's diaper on my bed.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
It was a down comfort. You could totally see, and there was like...
Oh.
She was like, where should I put this dirty diaper?
Okay, so if you're listening, don't change your baby's diaper.
Don't go into an open house or, do a private showing and change your baby's diaper on the bed.
Don't try to do a little nosedive on the bed because it could be an air mattress.
Yes,
yeah.
That too.
Speaking of which, I do have a video of Mary plopping onto a bed that we didn't know was an air mattress because we were doing a lot of promotional stuff for, this was when we were over, where were we? One of our developments, Copperwood, probably at Copperwood. And we had a new floor plan that we were, doing videos for and everything, and had an amazing master. And she fell back to do a boomerang, and it was she didn't know it was an air mattress, and it was just boom, boom. We had to blow it back up. It was good. But yeah, so don't take a nosedive on a mattress that isn't yours, I suppose. But yeah. Oh, that's our 5-minute doorbell. I do want to give you guys some time to give your contact information to all of our listeners, and sort of wrap up. I know we probably have a lot more to say about this, so maybe you guys can come on at some point in January and talk about it, because I think what we're going to do next week, or maybe the first week in January, is talk about a year in review. We usually do that at the end of the year or in the beginning, and give our bold predictions for next year. Yeah, so you guys will have to think about your bold predictions, because I'll be calling upon you to sort of either call in or come on the show to give what you think is going to happen next year.
I think we covered everything pretty much. We had our own little way of doing it, but it can help potential buyers envision themselves in that home.
Right. I mean, I could talk about this subject for hours on end, but yeah, I mean, I think we covered the basics of it, but this is a good time for both of us to say, if you're intrigued or would like to hear more.
Yeah. Emmy, give your contact information. You can go first.
Thank you. So if you would like to reach out to me about staging your home or selling your home or learning more about the process, you can reach me at 781-217-4580. And I always tell people you can call or text, because not all of us like to call.
Give it one more time. I didn't mean to go like this to wrap it up.
I thought you were telling me to speed up.
No, I have to repeat it again. Yeah, then if you want to call me, just go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could stop. No.
Sure. So we'll take this from the top. If you would like to reach me, you can call me at 781-217-4580. And for those of you that are call shy, you can feel free to text me. I'm also on Facebook as Realtor Emmie Flaherty, and same with Instagram. Mm-hmm. And Emmie at BostonConnect.com.
Emmie at BostonConnect.com.
Yeah.
Kristen?
That's something I never said. You can always call Boston Connect, and Melissa can connect you with any of us.
Yeah. Connect you
in
to
case
anybody.
you miss our phone numbers.
But how can someone connect you directly?
You can call me, same thing. Call, text, DM, slide left,
slide in her
right.
DMs.
Right?
Slide right.
Of course, swipe right.
Swipe right, swipe left.
I don't know the difference. Well, I know one is
don't know.
no and one's yes, but I don't know which way is which.
Whichever way is yes.
Yes.
So my number is 617-448-4896. Same, I'm on Facebook as Kristen Howlett Realtor, I think. And Instagram, Kristen Howlett Realtor.
Yeah.
But again, you can feel free to call Boston Connect Real Estate, and Melissa will hook you up.
Yeah. So you can call us here, 781-826-8000, 781-826-8000, or you can go to bostonconnect.com, find all of their contact information. And yeah, you can just, call me, call Julia, again, Julia Hannon will connect you to anybody here.
That is very true.
Yeah, now, because I might not be here. I might be at somebody's listing. So tomorrow I'll be at Emmie's listing. So
Thank you.
that'll be good. But yeah.
What day? Oh, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm so
we do the
messed
show.
up with this
I know.
week.
Holiday weeks do that.
Yeah, I'm messed up too.
Brian took
But
Friday
in a lot of
off.
different ways.
Right? Another topic.
Another topic,
Right.
maybe on Saturday. Oh, no, can't talk about it on Saturday. It's Christmas Eve.
Well, this morning I took my trash out.
That's
I made
nice.
such a point. I was almost late.
Thank
Took
God,
my
because it
trash
was
out.
starting to smell.
Well, guess what?
What?
My trash comes on Wednesday. I thought it was
Oh.
Wednesday.
Well, you're early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least
at
it's
the bottom
up.
of the driveway.
That's all right.
Yeah. It's there.
Anyways, that's our cue to go because now we're talking about trash. But if you want to listen to any of our past shows, you can go to talkrealestateroundtable.com. Again, call us here at the office, 781-826-8000, or go to bostonconnect.com to get all of our contact information. Thanks for joining me, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening and watching us on Facebook. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.